Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Coach's Corner. My name is Maxi B, and we also have my co host Armani with us tonight.
What
Uh,
up?
First things first, before we get into anything football related, we got to send some love and prayers to Coach. He could not be with us tonight due to some health reasons, but nothing but positive energy and quick recovery for Coach. And we already know he's going to bounce back stronger than a Falcons second half collapse. Maybe
Get
that was
well,
too
coach.
far, but maybe that was too far. But you get the point. You know, we're rocking.
Oh,
We're rocking with you, Coach.
yeah, we got you, coach. That's wild, but okay, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. We'll go with it.
That's his karma for talking crap to me. I'm joking.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
cool.
So now, Falcons fans, let's talk because I don't know about y'all, but it just feels like this season has been like a toxic relationship. Some days are good and, everything's going great, but then you're still uneasy every week, you know? Um, like, yeah, we're good, but do I trust it? No. And since it's the opening show vibe, we're gonna hit good, bad, and ugly of the season so far, because Falcons football demands honesty, right? So we're gonna get right into our good, bad, and ugly. So let's start with you, Armani. Give us your summary of the whole season in a good, bad, and ugly form.
Overall, this season felt like it was a blur, but it was a failure in my book because we brought in guys that we thought that could take us over the hump, get to the playoffs, make a deep playoff run, but none of those happened. Actually, the opposite happened, and we started off losing, and we just kept, we had good things happen here and there. We beat the Bills first half of the season. We tied our record, and then it just went on from there, went downhill. So for me, it was a disappointment. It was a disappointment on all phases. One of the things that I did, the good is we have guys, young guys in here that are going to grow together and that are going to ball out together. So, guys like James Pierce, guys like Jalen Walker, and of course Bijan, and we got Drake still under contract. So, we have got there. There is a light. It's not all bad. There is a
Yeah.
light. When you don't have the right coaching staff here, it makes it seem that bad. So
Right.
it's just it's been a whirlwind. Nevertheless, it's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and a lot of low lows. But I think overall this season we could chalk it up as a disappointment, but also a learning lesson of the things that we can't do. So we know that what don't work, and we know what don't mix. So we know what we can do and what we can't do.
All right. So you just had like a little bit of good, everything else was bad and ugly.
Yeah, right. I mean, because you look at it, honestly, what a you can't have the season you that we had with the kind of roster that we have. So
Right, right.
with that being said, we can't sit here and act like we paid these quarterback. Well, we drafted a quarterback in the top 10, and we paid another one, and then
Hmm.
one of them goes out, and the other one doesn't show up the way he's supposed to show up. So it's disappointing when the guys don't produce the way they're supposed to produce. So
Right.
that's all in all my sentiment of the season. But it's been 70% bad, but you had that 30% good of what we can look forward to in the upcoming seasons with the new regime coming in.
Okay. Well, for me, I did get I wrote down some notes on some of the things for the whole season. Overall, my good, I would say the defense showed up. I think is like one of the best years we've had on defense, in my opinion.
What's good? Yes.
We were number one defense, starting out, even though we kind of like messed that up, but that's a
Yeah.
Falcons way.
Yeah.
um, and then, like you were saying, just like the skills that we have, like the guys with the skills that we have, B. John, London.
Yeah.
Pitts, sometimes, and then some
Yeah.
of the defense players, like the rookies, the new guys, they're killing it. So that's my good for the season. My bad, too many drives that went missing, like the socks in the dryer, like it's
Yeah.
there and then you never see it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
The quarterback, like quarterback questions, kind of like is Kirk solid, but not elevating the team type thing, play calling from the coaches. Yeah, definitely. Those were all bad things to me throughout the season. The ugly, for me, is like we have no identity. Like, are we a power run team, a play action team, clock management team? No
Yeah.
one knows. Like we have no identity. Even though there were some winnings, some games that we won, it just never was like a confidence win. It was just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, we barely made it type thing. That was
Right.
ugly as well for me. And then the Matt Ryan realization, and this one was the ugliest for me because I'm not a fan of his,
Yeah. I
but
know. I get it. I get it.
but I have been seeing a lot of the every week, the fans kind of like, he might have been carrying us more than we thought. So
Mm,
that's another ugly for me. And speaking of Matt Ryan, that's actually part of our next topic. Matt Ryan's returning to the Falcons organization.
mm.
Whether front office, advisory, culture guy, whatever it might be, the question is, can he actually help turn this franchise around? What do you think?
I would have to say yes. We have to give him a chance to come in here and see what he does as a front office guy. Matt Ryan has always been a very good, on the camera kind of guy. He did very well at CBS broadcasting, and I get it's a little different now that you're the president of football operations, and that is a new role that Arthur Blank introduced to the team, to this franchise. We I don't think we've had a president of football operations, so I could be wrong, but I know we had a president, but not a president of football operations. So when you're bringing a guy like Matt who's been in these, you got to get a guy that's been in these locker rooms, and essentially that's what Arthur Blank did. You got a guy that's been in the locker rooms, and he knows exactly what goes on, what it entails, what Mondays look like, what Tuesday look like, what Wednesday, what film room look like. So he's been in those situations where during mini camp, training camp, up the draft day, he's been in all of it. So why not have a guy that's been there and that's been a long tenured franchise player such as Matt Ryan? Why not bring him in and just say, hey, kind of coming in and oversee, what's going on on the football side, because we have not had much success. First of all, we haven't had much success since you left. And then you're the most successful we've been since you came into the franchise. So you're the quarterback that brought us the most success. You can't argue with Matt's resume, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, regardless of how we feel about him. I mean, those are the accolades that he has.
All
So
right.
Matt Ryan coming in and looking at the roster, he's like, okay. And plus, we have to get somebody that can come in here and have new ideas, because we
Yeah.
cannot keep going. You know what I mean? Like, we couldn't keep going down the road that we were going,
Yeah.
because it wasn't getting us anywhere. So when Matt Ryan coming in and being able to establish something within the locker room and within the front office and say, hey, this is where I want this team to go. This is the standard that we're going to end up playing at the level at, and we're going to keep it at. So
Yeah.
with that being said, Matt Ryan, welcome back. I appreciate your time here, your 14 years here. And let's get the show on the road. It's time. You're the president of football. Come to work. You get to go through the interviews with head coaches, coordinators. You get to look at all of the football operations outside of players. You can also look at front office positions and see what we need and what we lack. So I believe that Matt Ryan is going to do an incredible job. Nothing believes me to say that he can't do it. So I'm going to support him. Welcome home, Matt. Let's get it done and let's get back to where we need to be.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think he can. Not on the field, obviously. But culture wise, I think absolutely he does seem to really love this team, and I think that he will go all out for this team. I think he does represent stability and accountability for the team, and
Mm-hmm.
how professional he is. Three things that the franchise really has struggled with.
Yeah,
So.
sure. Sure.
But let's move on to our next topic, because this is another important topic that we need to talk about. Let's talk coaching. And we talked about this a little bit last episode, but considering the recent interviews they've had, who are realistic head coach candidates to you?
Um, Honestly, I'm going to be very frank with you about what I'm hearing. Um, and I believe that we're going to go and get a guy that knows football. He knows the ins and outs of the game. He, I believe, where the game is now to where it was maybe even 5, 10 years ago, you have to get a guy that can call plays and adjust in game. That was one of the gripes that I had with Raheem Morris. We're all looking on the sideline. What does Raheem Morris really do? Um,
Nothing.
Besides sit there and chew his gum all day
Chew gum. I was gonna say.
and say great job, so
Right. Look up at
so
the screen.
yeah, right. Look up at the screen, squint his eyes a little bit. I mean, hey, a shout out to Coach Raheem Morris. I believe that we gave him a chance, but what NFL stands for, not for long. And when you're not able to do your job, things happen the way they happen, and here we are. So, I would say, okay, this is no distinct order. Let me preface this by saying, because I've been looking online, looking on Facebook, looking on Twitter, and all I see is when we interview somebody, fans are going crazy. Somebody they don't know. Man, I don't want him. Why are we interviewing this guy? Let me preface this by saying, okay, fans, we have to follow protocol when hiring coaches. You have to
Mhm.
fulfill certain criteria when you're interviewing. So just because we interview the guy,
Interview.
I mean, we're gonna hire a guy. So I don't know why everybody's going crazy. Why are we interviewing him? Why are we interviewing this guy? We have to follow NFL protocol and proper procedure of how the coaching cycle and candidacy needs to go. But
Mhm.
with that being said and done, I believe in my heart of hearts, and from what I'm hearing on the Twitter streets, Facebook streets, I believe that number one is going to be John Harbaugh. I believe that John Harbaugh is going to be your number one guy. Does he call plays? No, he does not. But he has a history of building something special. He did it in Baltimore. So even though things didn't work out, some people, I believe that some coaches just overstay their welcome, and that sometimes that happens. Look at what
Mhm.
happened with Andy Reid in Philadelphia. Then he goes to Kansas City and has
Mhm.
years, 3 Super Bowls later, and here we are. So with that being said, I believe that John Harbaugh is number one because he has the experience and he can bring guys in here that know football. Um, and he's not just walking; he's actually engaged. One thing I didn't like about what Raheem it didn't feel like he was really engaged.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it looks like Harbaugh is going to actually be engaged, going over to the offensive side and saying, "Hey, what's going on here? What's going on here?" Going over to the defensive side and be like, "Hey, what's going on here? And what's going on
Mhm.
here?" instead of just standing on the sideline. So,
Yeah.
um,
I feel like he was just very like he was more worried about being friends with everybody that he was
right,
actually
right,
getting everybody on the same page. So,
right, for sure. I believe. Well, the thing is, I believe that when you're a coach, you everybody's not gonna like you.
mhm.
You cannot be the most likable guy. I mean, you can't be the most snobbiest of guys, but you can't always be the most likable guy because you're gonna have with staff, with players, you're gonna have uncomfortable conversations on the sideline during the week behind closed doors. You can't always be the most liked guy. And
Mhm.
one thing that Raheem Morris, it just from what the vibe that I got from him is he wants to be liked.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
understand that it's you want to be able to connect with your players, but you have to do what's in the best interest of the team, and not
Right.
just individual players. So John
Yeah.
Harbaugh, number one. Number two is um not Clint Kubiak, who is the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, they're in the playoffs, so we won't be able to make a hire him right away. That we will have to wait till they're done. But I believe that the schemes that he's been able to develop in Seattle and where they are and what he's been able to do with that team, I mean, it's incredible. And then when you have a guy like Sam Darnold who didn't have the best coming into the NFL career, but he's making his case for a great comeback. And he's great. Excuse me, I say Gary, his dad. Excuse me. Clint Kubiak is able to utilize his weapons the best he can. So when you got a guy on offense that uses his weapons to his fullest capacity, then that's how you know you got a good coordinator and a
Yeah.
potential good head coach. And he's on the sideline going through plays, talking to Sam Darnold, like, "Hey, what you seeing out there? What are we doing?" So I think Clint Kubiak is going to be another great candidate. And hey, my next one is Stefanski. I understand what happened with the Browns and the whole Shador thing. I understand, but I mean, this guy's been coach of the year twice for an organization that we know is statistically not the best organization, period, all around. So
Right.
when you can lead a team to two playoff appearances and then win coach of the year twice, I mean that speaks volumes. Just
Right.
because, again, one of those things where just because things didn't go well there, that doesn't mean it can't go well anywhere else. For one,
Yeah.
I mean, you with the Browns, so I mean that
Right.
it's hard to win there anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean that's shout out to the Browns, but I'm just being honest of the things that I see on a weekly basis when football kicks off. So you know those are the three guys that I'm looking at that I think the Falcons will take a hard look at and say, hey, these are our guys. We interviewed people like maybe Bart McCarthy or Tomlin is not going to take because he already said he doesn't want to coach. He wants to go into apparently broadcasting. I wish him his best of luck when it comes to that.
Oh,
Yep.
I've been
So
seeing a lot of the people wanting him, so I didn't know
yeah,
that he didn't
yeah,
want to coach no more.
yeah. That's I think that's what I want to say. Don't mark my words, but CBS reported that he wants to go into the broadcasting booth. So
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I believe that you can take a swing at Mark McCarthy, take a swing at some of these DCs, maybe the Seahawks DC, but those are the three guys that I won't want because two of them are already proven head coaches. I mean, Stefanski doesn't have the best record with the Browns, but and we know that John Harbaugh is a builder. He knows football. So, and Kubiak is creative on offense. That's what you have to have. And Matt Ryan said it. You have to get a guy in here that can relate and develop Michael Penix or whoever's going to be our future quarterback. So, when you have guys like that, if it's not Kubiak, then the other two guys can bring guys in here that'll stay long enough to be able to develop the quarterback position. So, those are my candidates that I would want. I see, again, fans going crazy about this guy or that guy, but at the end of the day, Matt Ryan and Arthur Blank are going to come together, and
Mm.
Greg, I think Greg Beatles are going to come together and figure out who they want. But we should be hearing something in the coming month or a couple weeks or so because free agency is going to start coming soon. So those are the coaches I think that we should be targeting.
Well, hopefully, Matt Ryan has an impact and actually
Yeah,
makes
yeah, a great choice.
a
Yeah,
great choice because he Arthur. I feel like Arthur actually respects his opinions.
yeah,
So
for sure.
we'll see. I'm not really, like I've said before, I'm not really big on the X's and O's of all the coaches and from all their teams or all of that. But I think Falcons fans just we don't need flashy. We just need someone who knows what they're doing, someone
Yep.
who can manage games, make adjustments, and not lose winnable matchups. And as you were saying, someone who can develop our quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of quarterback, our next topic. Now, this one always starts arguments.
For
Do
sure.
we overvalue the quarterback position, or is quarterback really everything?
Um. Well, when you look at what's been going around the past couple of years, I mean, you have to have a great quarterback to compete in this league. Um, People make an argument that Jalen Hurts for the Eagles isn't a great quarterback, but he's good. He's good enough to win a Super Bowl with. So you got to have a guy that is good enough that can get you over the hump, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
to surround him with pieces that can get him. If he's deficient in anywhere, you have to surround him with pieces that can get your team over the hump. I believe sometimes we do overvalue the position. I believe that it takes a team. I know that a good quarterback can come in and you know push away those blemishes of a team because he can be exceptional. But in today's league, long as you have a good quarterback with great tendencies and a great team around him, I believe that he can win. So he does. I don't believe that you have to have an elite quarterback to win these days. You just have to have a good quarterback that has great moments.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say we overvalue the position because it's the most important position on the football field.
Hmm.
But if you don't have the team around him, it's not going to work unless he's elite, and that's maybe one or two people in this league, and that's Patrick Mahomes and maybe Lamar. But even Lamar, he has to have and Josh Allen, those guys, or those guys elevate their team to another level.
Yeah.
So, but we've seen that even with the Eagles, you don't have to have the most perfect quarterback play to get to where you need to go. He just needs to have those moments
Hmm.
that can sustain and win you games. He just had to have those moments where playoffs come. Okay, he has a moment here where he looks great, and some other moments he might not look great, but good to great, good quarterback with great or elite moments can win you a championship.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what I think, okay? Football is still a team game,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
And some may think, oh, the quarterback is everything. But let's be real. In today's NFL, if your quarterback isn't elevating the offense, your margin for error
Yeah,
is tiny.
that's fair. That's fair.
And that's the issue. You can win with a good quarterback, but we are for sure going to win with a great one.
Yeah,
So that's something definitely that this franchise has to think about when it comes to quarterbacks. I mean, a good one, sure, but like I feel like maybe in the coming years, if it doesn't work out, they should definitely and not go back to Kirk Cousins and do
right.
another crazy ass contract,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
look at something maybe
for
a little bit more experienced, but not like old and washed out.
right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But anyway, so enough of quarterbacks. What? Let's come back to our expectations of the next season. What should the Falcons fans realistically expect next season?
Um, to me, you have to be able to. It just so when you hire a guy, you want somebody that can get you over that hump. So I believe that next season we can make it to the playoffs. We have to be able to make it to the playoffs because here's why. You're gonna have to start paying guys in a couple of years. So
Mm,
you're not
yeah.
gonna be able to keep everybody. So
Hmm.
you're gonna have to start paying guys in a couple of years. So there's need to be a little sense of urgency when it comes to trying to be able to, okay, these are the pieces we got. These are the pieces we let go, but these are the main core pieces like Bijan, like Drake, like Kyle, like Jalen Walker, James Pierce, and the rookies and Xavier Watts. Those guys, we need to try and get to the postseason and win with those core of players before we have to pay them because not everybody in some instances gets paid, and we sometimes we have to let guys walk.
Right.
So and then we have to see, okay, I think we have Michael Penix under the contract for 2 or 3 years, so I don't think we're good. I think we're good there for a couple years, but we have to win with the core pieces of guys. If you look at any championship team or any kind of playoff team, any Super Bowl team, they won with those core pieces of players. You look at the Legion of Boom, and you look at Seattle. They had back in the mid 2010s, they had Cam Chancellor, they had the Road Runner, they had Richard Sherman, they had Russell Wilson in beast mode. They won with those core players. So if we can just stick and build with the core players we have, next season I believe it's going to be a lot better because you have filled the hole. You filled a lot of holes: the pass rushing hole, the safety hole. We do need to figure out what other kind of corner we're going to get. But as far as the defense, we're going to be solid there. I do believe that we're going to be solid on defense. We don't know what we have. I understand the offense could be great, but we have to find out what do we have in the quarterback situation, right? Because Michael Penix or somebody bring in somebody else, but anybody that you bring in, he has to be able to um, consistently win.
Hmm.
So I believe that we can make it to the playoffs next year. It should be playoffs, 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 because getting up to the playoffs, anything can happen. I mean, honestly, Carolina should have. If I'm being totally honest, Carolina should have won that game last week. But
Hmm.
either here or there, the results were the results. But the expectation next year, at the minimum, should be a first round exit playoffs. I understand first year head coach. Okay, cool. So because you can win, you can get the winning in this league, and you can get the winning quick if you have the right guys in the locker room and on the coaching staff. So next year, hey, we have to get to the playoffs. Have to.
So are they like kind of, not to like go back to the quarterback talk, but like are they expecting Michael Penix to return for next season, or are we still going to be kind of
Yeah.
playing with Kirk?
I believe they expect Michael Penix to return at some point next season. I believe that the surgery. Let me see. I believe the surgery that he had. It takes about a year to come back from. I believe that it's going to take some time for him to come back. So
Mm,
I believe that at least expect him by next October. So that puts us at least within in like the very first half of next season, going towards the middle of the season. So if we can get Michael Penix healthy and we can get him back, and he can be what he was before he left and kind of develop as the season goes on, and we can get some wins in there because we have like the third or the fourth easiest schedule coming in, so we should be able to get a groove, even when he comes back. But I believe that we'll have a veteran quarterback in next year, whether that's Kirk or somebody else. I'm not sure if Kirk is going to be wants to stay, but I do
yeah.
believe that it's going to be some kind of veteran leadership, a veteran quarterback coming in to replace until Michael comes back on some level or capacity.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I guess we're gonna find out. For me, I think what I expect from the team next season is no excuses. There was a lot of those
Yeah, all
with
excuses. Yeah,
Raheem.
yep,
um, we should be competing for the division minimum, at least win the division if we're not going for the playoffs. Um, no more learning year, but I guess with the whole Michael Penix coming back, I think he is gonna have to kind of learn how to develop and
yeah,
make some good plays. I think that he definitely should start by kind of figuring out how to throw the ball down the middle of the field and not just the side.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. He's got some work to do. I think Mike. I believe he can do it. I just think that Mike is hesitant a lot of times because he doesn't want to turn the ball over because he didn't turn the ball over in college. So, but you're
Mhm.
gonna have to throw the football in the middle of the field at some point or some because you can't just throw it to the sideline, and say, "Oh, okay," and expect to drive down the field. You're gonna have to challenge. See, my problem is for real because Michael Penix has to challenge the defense. We
Mhm.
have to throw the ball in the middle of the field, deep in the middle of the field at some point. I
Mhm.
mean, just I honestly, if I was a new coach or OC, I would do that on like on the first play. I get a ball to Bijan, see what he do, then I come out with a play action pass, throw the ball down the middle, deep, just to get his jitters over with, and just to challenge the defense. My problem is with Michael Penix, we don't challenge the defense. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
challenge the defense down the middle of the field to be successful in the NFL because you have to give guys other things to worry about.
Yeah,
So
and I feel like a lot of it also was the coach's fault because I think when he did try to do that, it was either like intercepted or something
yeah,
bad happened to where it was like, okay, maybe let's not do that. And it's like, okay, so how's he gonna get any experience or practice those plays? Like
yeah,
if
for
you're
sure.
just protecting him, and
Yeah,
oh no, let's not do that because we're gonna mess up, but.
yeah.
I mean, hopefully the new coaching staff will work on that with him when he comes back.
Yeah, you can't be conservative. I mean, I understand it again, young quarterback, but you're going into your third year now. You got to start, progressing a little bit. I understand that injury sets you back, but you got to start progressing, and you
Yep.
can't hold yourself back just because you're afraid to turn the ball over. I mean, even if you do, you got to shake it off and keep it moving. But
Yeah.
you got to challenge the defense on some form. You
Yeah.
got you got to challenge the defense.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, we don't expect perfection. We just need direction.
Yeah, oh yeah, for
We
sure.
need
And consistency.
direction and consistency. Absolutely. All right, guys. So we actually just have a short show tonight. We did start out late today because of some unexpected adjustments we had to make. Again, Coach is not with us tonight due to some health reasons, and we hope that he gets better. Um, so, as we said, as it comes down to it, Falcons fans need, or not Falcons fans, but like the team needs leadership, identity, direction, whether it's Matt Ryan's influence or a new head coach or finally answering the quarterback question. This franchise definitely has decisions to make. And as you already know, like, comment, and subscribe. Drop
Yeah,
your takes in the
sure.
comments. We do read those and we reply as we can. Next week, we're back to our regular time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we do have some fun things coming up. Coach has been working on for a while. We may also have a couple surprise guests. So definitely stay tuned for next week, hopefully, if Coach is feeling better. So this is the Coach's Corner, everybody. And peace out.
Yep.